What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm joined today by my co-host, Ryan. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Another week closer to the NFL season. Counting down that
Can't wait.
date in my head. I think we're close to 115 days if I had to do the math in my head.
That sounds so far away, but
Oh yeah, that's like a whole season.
wait.
Or a whole season away.
Yeah, basically. Cannot wait. Can't come quick enough. Honestly,
Yeah.
any sports at this point.
Hey, I tried to watch the Bundesliga this weekend. That
Yeah.
soccer league in Germany
I
that
thought
came
that
back.
was back, yeah. I think that NASCAR and the UFC are back. So we're slowly getting there.
Glad we're getting the good sports.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they couldn't have picked three better ones. But,
And I heard golf is on the way.
oh, yeah.
we're
Golf
rocking and
next
rolling.
weekend, I think. Next weekend. So a lot has happened in the last 2 days. A lot of guys have been arrested. I guess we should start with the most notable one, which is the DeAndre Baker, Quentin Dunbar aggravated assault and robbing of people at a card game or whatever. I was just telling Ryan about it, and it's like, what are they doing? Ryan said it himself. He was like, "You're millionaires. Why are you robbing people for their $50,000 watch?" Like, it just makes no sense to me. We're trying to, like, do you think – how long's Quentin Dunbar been in the league?
I think it's 5 or 6 years. He's pretty experienced. Like, he's not new.
He might
Let's
get
put it
cut.
that way. Well, he just got traded to the Seahawks.
I know. That's what I'm saying. What's his contract like? He might get cut. I'm trying to look it up. Oh, he's on a $3 million contract. He's definitely getting cut.
I don't know, man. He's pretty good.
You don't think they cut him?
He was the Redskins' best corner, and I think him next to why am I forgetting his name? The cornerback for Seattle. He's one of the twins. Oh, Griffin.
Yes. Yeah.
Shaquille Griffin.
Yep. I mean,
I think that would be pretty nice. So I don't know if they cut him. I definitely think these guys have to get like a 4 to 5 game suspension. Like, that was crazy. They're definitely the craziest cases of
probably more than that.
UCAS weekend. You think so?
I think they get like 6 minimum. Yeah.
And I mean, those are two. Well, the Giants aren't really like playoff contenders, but like for Seattle, with a tough season they already have ahead of them, like that's gonna hurt.
And I guess it depends if they go to jail, because I mean, they did rob people. They could be looking at jail time.
That's true.
I mean, I'm sure they have great lawyers, but still.
That's a very messy weekend, and we all know that being a professional athlete kind of gives you a little halo effect, even though they literally rob people at gunpoint. They still might slither out of this with only a few games suspension and a hefty fine from Roger Goodell.
DeAndre Baker's the one that's interesting because he's a first-round pick last year. He didn't play great last year, and so he's going into his second year. I mean, what do you do with him? Like, you said they might look to trade him, but I don't know if you can.
Well, the only reason I said that is because of what you said, where they told him basically not to come to any meetings. And you also have to remember that this is a new regime. This is not at least the coach that drafted him. Pat Shurmur was the coach that drafted him, and now they've got what is his name? Joe Judge?
Yeah.
Now they've got Joe Judge, who comes from the Patriots. They don't really put up with a lot of BS up there in New England. So I don't know if Joe Judge is going to put up with that.
True.
Plus, they might trade him.
It's not like he was just caught with drugs or something. I mean, he robbed somebody with a gun and told another man to shoot somebody. So somebody
not to mention, DeAndre Baker isn't like I mean, I know we've only got one season of a sample size, but he's not like a star player.
He wasn't very good last year, I don't think. I'll try and look up his stats really quickly.
I don't think it was worth a whole lot.
Did he?
Well, while Alex is looking that up, I'll get to the second case of the weekend. Was Washington Redskins receiver Cody Latimer got, I think, aggravated assault charges. I don't really know the full story behind this, but I think out of all the 4 players that we're talking about in this little segment right here, I think this is going to be the most detrimental to his career, because this is already like a fringe roster guy. Cody Latimer is not like a star, not a big name at all. So I feel like if anyone's going to get cut and this is going to ruin their career, I think it's Cody Latimer. Because, I mean, the Redskins already drafted Gandy Golden. They have McLaurin and Hamler. Or not Hamler. What is his name?
I know who you're trying to talk about. What is his name?
Hakeem Butler?
That sounds
No,
like
he plays
a
for –
player. I don't know if he plays for them.
anyways, they've got guys to receiver. That's all you need to know. So the fact that he did this might have shot himself in the foot because I think now his shot at making the roster is now a lot less than it would have been.
I mean,
because
it looks like he almost did shoot himself in the foot. He was charged with aggravated assault and discharge of a weapon inside of a apartment complex.
These guys, man, this was such a GTA-esque weekend. Like, sheesh.
Neighbors reported hearing screaming and yelling, arguing, and then a gunshot went off before they called 911.
Cody.
Oh, by the way, about DeAndre Baker, he started 15 of 16 games. He had 48 tackles, 13 assisted tackles, 0 interceptions. Not
a terrible season, but not one you want to boast about if you're a first-round pick.
And 8 pass deflections.
Especially not New York or New Jersey.
I mean, 0 interceptions is pretty bad. I call it that, by the way. The New Jersey? Yeah, I got you.
Just because it's not the Jets doesn't mean I can't say it.
No, I understand.
And getting to the last case of the weekend, we have the one that I'm most impressed about. It's from my own team, from my 2019 first-round pick, defensive tackle Ed Oliver got arrested with, driving under the influence and illegal possession of a weapon. What he was doing, he had a very fun day, it sounds like, with dune buggies and with his friends in Texas, which is where he's from, and they were driving home, and he was going 45 in a construction zone with a beer in between his lap. He had a little bit to drink and obviously was continuing to do so in the car. They pulled him over, and he had a pretty good job, or he did a pretty good job getting through the sobriety test. They actually had to take him down to the station to get a blood test to make sure he was intoxicated. But while they were searching the car, they also found a firearm, which obviously is not good. Unlawful carrying, I believe. That's what they called it. I think out of all these guys, I think this guy is going to get the biggest earful from his coach. But I think out of all the cases that we talked about, I think this is probably like the smallest suspension we're going to be doing. Because it was kind of like no one got – the good thing is like I don't condone drinking and driving, but I'm glad that no one got hurt. And this does seem to be like the most innocent of them all. I'm not trying to be biased either. But there was no gun violence, even though there was a gun present. But, yeah, Bills Mafia has been giving Ed Oliver a verbal social media beatdown today.
From fans and the coaches.
Yeah, no kidding. What do you think about this?
I mean, I think of all the guys, he's going to get off the easiest. Maybe not with his coach, but at least punishment-wise, kind of like what you said. And honestly, he might have gotten away with it if he wouldn't have had a gun in his car. It sounds like he could have probably passed the DUI test. So, I don't know. I think his coach will give him hell, but other than that, he'll be all right. He'll be probably back out there by like week 2.
Well, the thing I've been seeing the most is that with like alcohol charges in the NFL, first-time offenders get like a minimum 2-game suspension. So there's room to get 2 to 4, but because Ed Oliver hasn't really done anything as of yet, I think he gets away with 2. And honestly, looking at our schedule, if he had to miss 2, I would really like it if he missed these first 2 because it's just against the Jets and the Dolphins. And although those aren't going to be easy wins, the schedule gets a lot harder later on. So I'm glad.
Plus, you guys have the depth for it.
Yeah, but it's still not good. And I imagine a few players on the team are probably ripping into him as well, like Jerry Hughes and Starlet Tula.
For sure. But that's pretty much all the news that has happened in the last, week?
Well, not a lot of positive news.
Now we're going to jump into, like, this little segment that Ryan came up with. It's called the What If. So, like, we're going to play through a couple what if scenarios that could have happened over the last couple years in the NFL. So, I guess we should start with the report that actually came out. This didn't even make our list until I think yesterday. That the Seahawks almost traded Russell Wilson to the Browns for the first round pick for the 2018 draft, which would have been insane because I thought Russ was going to be a Seahawk for life.
Yeah.
And now multiple people have come out saying that he could potentially be traded even if it's in the future. So this is wild. But what do you think would have happened if, like, what quarterback do you think they would have taken?
Well, I think it was if I had to be honest, I think it would not have been Baker Mayfield. I think it might have been Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best fit for the Seahawks. And if they were looking in that direction, I think it might have been Sam. Although with Josh Allen's mobility or Lamar Jackson's mobility, I wouldn't rule those out either. But I mean, Lamar went pick 32 of 32 in the first round. So I don't think they would have traded
Russ for that. I wonder what they would have gotten. Like, I doubt it would have been straight up for the first overall pick.
You know, I really don't. Yeah. I mean, the return would have been crazy. Wait, are you saying the return for the Browns or the Seahawks?
Yeah, I'm saying, like, what would the Seahawks get? Like, if they traded Russell Wilson to the Browns, what would the Browns have to give to the Seahawks?
Yeah, I was about to say, because I don't think they can get away, like, first overall pick for Russ straight up. I think it would have to be, like, maybe like a player who at the time was on the Browns, maybe a guy like Emmanuel Ogbah, or maybe – I mean, I'm just reaching at straws. I'm trying to think of guys they had on that team back then.
2 first-round picks that year, didn't they?
Yeah, because they took Baker, then Denzel Ward.
Yeah, I think
they would have packed 1 and 5.
It probably would have taken both of those, honestly.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Russ is definitely worth it. And honestly, I don't know who's more stupid in this situation. The Seahawks for trying to trade away the best player, possibly the best player in their franchise. Or the Browns for – wait, I forgot why I was telling the Browns they were stupid. Oh, I know why. The Browns are stupid for not doing that.
Yeah, the second they called with any sort of interest for trading Russell Wilson to me, whatever they want, I'm giving it to them.
Yeah, like, here's how that situation should have gone. It should have been Pete Carroll or whoever the hell the GM is going like, hello, hey, we're looking to trade Russ, and then don't even let them finish the word Russell.
Whatever you want. Anything.
Are you kidding me? The Browns have been in QB hell for 20 years, and you're telling me that you wanted Baker Mayfield over Russell Wilson, a Super Bowl champion?
They don't deserve to win.
Idiots.
They don't deserve to win. I'm sorry. They don't. That's terrible.
And could you imagine what Russell Wilson would have done with Jarvis, with OBJ?
Yeah, the Browns would have been winners again.
With Njoku? I'm talking about like AFC championship contenders,
sure.
Super Bowl contenders. My gosh, idiots! And oh gosh,
I just thought about it more now that we started to talk about it, and I'm like, why didn't this happen? The Browns are so stupid. Why wouldn't you immediately accept that offer?
Like, Baker Mayfield is literally this close away from being a bust. How do you have that many offensive weapons and still can't do anything?
I mean, this is
meanwhile.
This is 100% a prove it year for Baker.
Oh, I think
the MVP.
Yeah, and honestly, going back to that, I think the whole 2018 draft class is an prove it year. Josh Allen, maybe not really Lamar. Well, Lamar's kind of like in a prove it year where like, can you do this again?
You think Josh is in a prove it year?
100%.
Really?
That's all people have been saying all year. Sam Darnold's definitely an approval year.
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield
Rosen's career is over. It is. It's done. Baker is an approve it year. Darnold's an approve it year. And I think Josh and Lamar aren't.
I think Josh is safer than Baker or Sam. But I think he's still got to prove – I mean, he's just got so many more areas that he can improve on. And I think that, like, this is a team – like right now, straight up, like this is a roster that could go and make a Super Bowl run.
Okay.
And everything is hanging on. Wait, what'd you say?
Quick question. Would you rather have Kyler Murray or Josh Allen right now on the Buffalo Bills?
I would rather have Josh because they're both mobile, but Josh has the size.
Would you rather have Joe Burrow or Josh Allen?
Josh Allen. Burrow scares me.
Tua or Josh Allen?
Are you kidding me? That fragile little child? I would rather have Josh. Okay, here's my main reason why. Is because if Kyler's got the mobility that Josh
I
has.
personally would have taken Kyler.
I know that was the toughest decision for me because I really thought about that one. But I like Josh. Josh literally is the man. Like, he is Buffalo. But anyways, the reason why I say that is because if Josh exits the pocket or Kyler exits the pocket, if you told me that they were about to get decked by like Matthew Judon or Bobby Wagner,
I'd probably take Josh.
Dude, I would be worried that Kyler would die.
Yeah.
Kyler's tiny. I was taller than Kyler is right now when I was in the 7th grade.
Yeah, me too. I think he's 5'8".
Yeah, dude is tiny. Meanwhile, Josh is built like a tight end and can I've seen Josh stiff arm Yannick Ngakoue.
Josh Allen is a more accurate Cam Newton.
Yes.
And so I can't fault you for wanting him. Yeah, Kyler's listed at 5'10". There's no way.
Meanwhile, Josh is taller than both of us.
Yeah, I think Josh
hurdle linebackers.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think Josh is gonna prove a year. I don't think they would give up on Josh if he had a terrible year this year.
That's tough though, because like the media.
Although if you were going to give up on Josh, this next year's draft is the year to give up on Josh with Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. But I don't think they give up on him.
I don't think so either. I think Josh is going to come better than he was in 2019. I think he's going to improve again because he improved from 2018 to 2019. I think he improves again 2019 to 2020. I think we have a stellar year unless a crazy injury happens.
I agree. I think Sam Darnold is probably in the biggest prove a year.
See, I think Baker is. Baker
had no offensive line last year.
Neither did Sam, though.
Yeah, I would say they're pretty equal.
And but Sam has always got this, like, the fans and the media love Sam, but Sam always has that scapegoat of being Adam Gase is my coach. That, like, instantly that's all the credibility he needs in my eyes because I know that Sam is a star, but I see that Adam Gase is a freaking bum.
Yeah, but Baker's going into his 3rd year with a different coach and a different system.
Yeah. But if you're the first overall pick, you have to be able to adjust like that.
But also, I think if we put Sam Darnold on the Browns, they could compete for that division. Where if we put Baker on the Jets, they probably aren't doing anything.
If you plug any QB taken in that first round of 2018, minus Josh Rosen, so basically Sam, Josh, or
maybe even Josh
Lamar. Yeah, I don't know why I'm taking them out. I think if you take any of them and put them in Baker's spot with this roster this year, I think that's a playoff team.
I mean, Baker has to make the playoffs this year, or I think they have to start looking at a different option.
Totally. I totally agree.
I feel like we spent a long time on this one, so I guess we could move to our next one.
We got off the broken path on that one.
By the way, there's a lot of quarterbacks in this what-if trend for us, but let's go with what if the Patriots never traded Jimmy Garoppolo? Now, this one is so interesting because, like, do you think that not the Cam Newton, that the Tom Brady split happens way earlier? Because I do.
That's an angle from this what-if scenario that I never really thought of.
Oh, I think it happened that year. I think they would have cut Tom Brady. If they wouldn't have traded Jimmy G, I think they would have cut Tom Brady and had Jimmy G be the starter. And then there's a ripple effect because Tom Brady's not going to the Bucs, 3 years ago or 2 years ago now?
Nah.
Like, where would who was the worst? Like, who were bad teams that year?
In 2017?
Was that 2017?
Yeah, I looked it up before the episode just because I wanted to see it. But yeah, it was like the trade deadline of the 2017 season that Jimmy G got traded.
Yeah, because then he won like 5 games in a row, right?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder where would he go after that? If
Cleveland
got cut. I mean, maybe Cleveland, but they weren't even good then. I don't even know if they had Jarvis Landry yet.
They didn't. They got him after that season.
You know what? To be honest, he'd probably go somewhere like the Bears.
I can see that.
Because the Bears went 5-11. That's the year that they drafted Trubisky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the fringe Trubisky, Mike Glennon year.
I mean, personally, I don't think Jimmy G's that good. So I wonder how he. Well, I don't know. I don't know. He's under already a great coach right now, so it's hard to say that Bill Belichick couldn't have molded him into a better quarterback. But,
Well, the thing is like it changes everything because the Patriots clearly would not be looking for a QB the way they are now. They wouldn't be in this dilemma with Jarrett Stidham or Brian Hoyer.
yeah,
And I don't think, well, okay, here's the real question. Do you think that if, let's say that the San Francisco 49ers had never traded for Jimmy G and they just drafted a quarterback?
dude, what are we talking about? Tom Brady would go to the 49ers.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that just popped into my head. Like,
no, you're actually totally
right.
Yeah, that makes too much sense, and I'm embarrassed that we didn't think
Me
of
too.
that.
I was like, wait, they wouldn't have a quarterback. They clearly went like 2-11 that year. Okay, continue. What were you saying?
Well, I mean, if they got Brady, or if they drafted a QB in the 2018 or 2019 draft, like maybe they would have made a run at Baker, or maybe they would have made a run at Kyler. Like, do you think they would have made it to the Super Bowl this year?
No.
You don't think that's a Super Bowl team?
No, I think they're very lucky they made it to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think their defense is elite, and I think their offense is mediocre.
But with Tom Brady at the helm.
Again, I'm not high on Tom Brady this year. I've made it very vocal that 2 years ago, Tom Brady was different.
Yeah.
So maybe they would have. I don't know. It's just.
See, I think if they never traded for Jimmy G, I think that Mike Shanahan might have been fired by now.
Well, weren't they brought in the same year? Or the year before? When was Kyle?
No, because he was in this Shanahan, McDermott, and McVay all came into their teams the same year. And I remember like it was crazy watching like McVay do what he did so quickly, and then it took Shanahan and McDermott a little bit slower.
Yeah, right. He probably would have been fired. I mean, that's
because they had
terrible.
Yeah, 2017 and 2018 were just garbage years for the 49ers. And they were trash before that too. So I think they would have been kind of impatient with Shanahan and kicked him out if they hadn't had that success in 2019.
Yeah. I guess we can move on. Speaking of that 2017-2018 draft, not 2018 draft, but what if the Chicago Bears drafted a different quarterback than Mitch Trubisky? I think they would have won a Super Bowl.
Especially after that Khalil Mack trade. Literally like they were primed for a Super Bowl run before Cody Parkey missed that field goal. Like if they had Mahomes,
think that it does whatever game they were in doesn't come down to a Cody Parkey field goal if they have Mahomes or Deshaun Watson.
See, I kind of like your angle with this. I don't think that it would have been Mahomes. I think it would have been Watson because you're right. We didn't know that Mahomes was going to be this stud coming out of college at Texas Tech.
Who else was in that? What other quarterbacks were in that draft?
I think those were the only 3 taken in the first round.
I'm trying to look. 2017 quarterback draft. There was Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Kaiser, Mitchell Trubisky, Davis Webb, and Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah, they didn't miss.
And Deshaun Watson.
It was basically those 3 guys up top.
That's something.
But I don't think that if Mahomes got to the Bears, I don't think that we'd have the same Mahomes that we know today. I think it took a redshirt year under Alex Smith and a redshirt year under Andy Reid for him to get to this point. Yeah. Because, I mean, no one really – everyone wants to say that they're going to make their quarterback have a redshirt year. Everyone's like, yeah, he's definitely sitting out this year. But no one actually means it. Andy Reid meant it, and it paid dividends, bro. This guy is crazy now. And I don't know if we would have had that same success if he had gone to the Bears. And because, the Bears would have wanted to force him in immediately.
Where I think if Deshaun Watson would have went to the Bears, first of all, Chicago would love him.
Yeah.
And I really think – I think if you take any other quarterback and put him on that Bears team, that year that Parkey missed that field goal, I think that Bears team was destined for a deep playoff run. And they didn't have the offense to get them there.
See, I think Foles is going to come in and steal Trubisky's job, and I think it's going to be –
For sure. I think it should be his job right out. Like, what's the competition for?
For views.
Serious. I don't get it. I don't understand what the competition's for. I think there's a reason they're not signing Cam Newton. I think there's a reason they traded for Foles because they can argue that the competition is more worthy between Foles and Trubisky than it would be between Cam and Trubisky. And so,
do you think that they didn't go after Cam just because of the slight risk that if he got injured, they'd have to put Trubisky back in?
No, because Foles is coming off a season-ending injury.
True, but that was more of like a fluke. Cam is just kind of he's got some wear and tear on him.
No, because they want an open competition.
There's
no way Nick Foles loses that competition, right?
Unless it's rigged. Unless they give like preferential treatment of Trubisky because he's been the starter the past 2 years.
Even the team wants it to be Foles.
Really?
Would they not?
Well,
you don't think that team's better if Nick Foles is the quarterback instead of Trubisky?
I just still can't believe that a year after the Jags gave him that ginormous deal that he's on a different team making
and
much.
The Bears are just like, yeah, we'll take the deal because Trubisky's so bad that we need a quarterback.
Yeah, that was. I mean, how does that feel knowing? Because he went to UNC, right?
Yeah. For 1 year ago.
How is that for you?
I hate it that he sucks so much. I wanted him to be so good, and I was just like, I knew the second that they drafted him, I was like, oh, this isn't going. I lost my ride. Oh no, he's back. Okay.
Sorry, my phone's 20%.
You're good, bro. Yeah. I mean, I want him to be good. It's clear that he's not good, and I think the quarterback that Carolina has right now will be better than Trubisky in the future. So.
Oh, Bridgewater. Oh.
No.
By the way, excellent drafting in the Dynasty last night.
Bro, I thought Tua – quick sidebar from the podcast. I know we're recording, but I wanted Tua to drop to me so bad. It was 2 picks away from me getting Tua. And then I just saw Teddy B was sitting there, and I was like, well, might as well scoop him up. And then the next round I got Roethlisberger.
Yeah, I saw that.
My 4th-round picks worked out great for me, even though I traded away my 1st-round pick for Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to roast some people in my group after the podcast. I got some beef to tell you about.
You're getting Saquon Barkley from me, so you can keep trying to send those trades over. They're not happening.
Hey, that was my last one. If you rejected that one, I was gonna quit.
You're good.
No means no.
Maybe I shouldn't even tell you because I want to pick this guy up. But did you see who got cut?
Mark Ingram?
Yeah.
Oh, I put a waiver in for him as soon as I saw
he got cut. I put a waiver in.
That guy. Well, that's the guy who did that is the main guy I'm beef with that I have to tell you about.
Why did he cut?
He's an idiot. Because he's an idiot. I have to tell.
Okay, we'll talk about it after we hang up. All right, let's finish the rest of this. I think we have 2 left. Wait, right?
Yeah.
We have 1 left.
There's 2.
What's the next one?
Carson and Bledsoe.
Oh, yes. Okay. So what if Carson Wentz never tore his ACL? This changes a lot of things. Because 1, Nick Foles isn't a starter right now. He doesn't have a huge contract. Does Philadelphia win a Super Bowl? I don't know.
See, here's what I'm thinking. First off, if he never tore his ACL, Nick Foles would probably still be in Philadelphia. I don't think any of this drama with the Jags and the Bears would happen. He would still be an Eagle, which honestly is where he plays his best football, so he'd probably like to be there.
True.
I personally do not think that they would have won a Super Bowl because that Falcons team or that Vikings team would have torn them to shreds if he was at center.
I think he wins MVP. Carson would have an MVP right now. He'd have a much bigger contract, but I don't think they win a Super Bowl.
I still think it was kind of robbery that he did not get MVP this year. I was mad for him because he was so good, dude. 2017 was his year. He only missed like the last 2 or 3.
What game didn't he? I thought he got hurt on like Thanksgiving. Am I crazy?
It was not, dude. It was like week 14 or week 15. It was really late.
I'm looking at it right now. What week was it? What team was it?
I think it was the Rams. Is my memory crazy like that? I want to be so excited.
Well, they didn't play the Rams in 2017, so I'm going to say it wasn't the Rams. If I had to guess, it was the Seahawks.
Maybe.
That was on November 20th, and they played 4 games after that.
No, dude, this was in December, I promise.
Well, then it was either – was it the Redskins game? Maybe
I could see the play happening. I just can't see. Wait, no, yeah, just look up the video that says Carson Wentz.
I'm like, why am I trying to figure this out? Like with my memory instead of I can just look it up. Wentz was injured. Wait, no, that's not the right injury. That's not the injury. I got the Jadeveon Clowney injury from last year. All right. Carson Wentz suffered a season-ending ACL injury in Philadelphia's 43-35 win over the Rams in Week 14. Ryan, you're a genius.
Dude, I called that. Like, I thought you said they didn't play the Rams.
Well, maybe I'm just dumb and didn't see it on the schedule.
Maybe you missed the lightning bolt logo that they stole from the Chargers.
So they definitely did play the Rams, and I missed it. Yep.
Wow.
That one's on me.
On point.
That one's on me. But, yeah, so it was Week 14. So, yeah, I mean, I think Philly doesn't have a Super Bowl right now, but they have an MVP quarterback. And I would think much more highly of him if he wasn't constantly injured.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like that kind of opened everything up for his other injuries. I feel like Philadelphia would have been way more successful in 2018.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And maybe even 2019. I mean, they still made the playoffs. I think they made it both years. Or no, I don't think they made the playoffs in 2018.
No, they didn't.
No, they definitely did because they were the ones that, like, with the parky kick.
Oh, true. Yeah. Okay.
So they made playoffs both years, but, like, not very significant.
We're not even thinking about it. Bill and Tom would have another Super Bowl.
True.
Tom Brady would have 7 Super Bowls now.
That's ridiculous.
If Wentz didn't get injured. Which actually is a great segue into our last what if of the night. What if Drew Bledsoe never got injured back in – what year was that? 1998? That doesn't sound right.
Wasn't like 99 or 2000? Might have been 2000.
When did Brady first start? 2001. It's Tom Brady's first start against the Colts. So, I mean, I don't know. That's the biggest what if to me because, like, would Tom Brady turn into Tom Brady?
I don't think he would. And because, I mean, you have to think. This guy was a 6th-round pick. It's not like he was a first and they wanted to hang on to him. They could have cut him anytime after that, not knowing the amazing superstar that he could have been. And then he would have possibly gone to another team and he wouldn't turn into the Brady that we know because he wouldn't have Belichick or McDaniels or any other offensive coordinator that he had in his tenure with the Patriots. So I don't think we'd have even close to the player that we have today. And I would have been a very happy person because we probably would have not had the drought.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the Patriots would have been nearly as good if they would have stuck with Drew Bledsoe. I mean, Bledsoe was old at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was up there. I can't remember how old he was.
I think.
Yeah.
That's a very weird thing to Google.
Maybe he would have found a home in San Diego or San Francisco or Oakland.
He would have definitely went somewhere at some point. He was – this is so hard to find. Well, he's 48 now. Oh, wait. No, whatever. This is too hard to find. I'm not going to look it up. But, yeah, I mean, that basically wraps up our what-if episode, unless you got anything else for him.
I don't think so. But you guys should definitely submit comments on what you want to see. This is a rough time. We kind of have to get creative because there's not much news. But, I mean, unless these guys keep doing GTA-type stuff, we'll have plenty to talk about. But, yeah, let us know what you want to see on here. We're going to try to be more active than we were last summer. So thanks for
sure
keeping up with us and putting up with us because we get a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys to keep subscribing and liking the posts. Thank you guys so much. Have a good rest of your week.